Okay, so in this video tutorial, this is more going to be a test to see how the Khan Academy aspect of the video tutorials will work. So in this one, what I'm going to do is I am going to quickly prove that between each adjacent pair of natural numbers there resides at least one irrational number, which means that it cannot be represented within the rational numbers, or cannot be represented by a fraction. So an example of such an irrational number would be pi, which resides between 3 and 4. Another example would be e, which is an element of 2 and 3. So what I'm going to prove is that between each adjacent pair of natural numbers, such as 3 and 4, 2 and 3, there resides at least one irrational number. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to let P be the set of all prime numbers. So let me finish writing this out. Alright, so P is the set of all prime numbers, and so what we're going to have is little p, denoted with this little loop at the bottom, is an element of big P. So little p is just any prime number, right? And so what we're going to have is b minus 1 and b are elements of the natural numbers. Now recall that the natural numbers does not include 0. Sorry. So it's the empty set, right? Another way to write this is 0 is not an element of the natural numbers. Now, it works a lot better. The natural numbers works a lot better for a lot of principles when 0 isn't an element of it. Some people consider that 0 is a positive integer, so it deserves to be there, considered part of there. Some people don't. For the purposes of most mathematical proofs, 0 is not an element of it, so we won't consider it. So this is very, very important. So we'll put a star beside it, or at least try to. Okay. So what we're going to say, so recall that b minus 1 and b, which are now adjacent, which are now adjacent natural numbers, they will be we'll just create the interval b minus 1 and b. Now, recall from one of my earlier videos that within any pair of natural numbers, there's an infinite amount of real numbers, right? So between b minus 1 and b, there's an infinite amount of real numbers. So I'm going to prove that there's at least one irrational number within that set. So the way that we're going to do this is we'll start off with b minus 1 squared, and the way that we select our p is such that it is between that and b squared. Now recall that the square root of square root of p is not an element of the rational numbers, right? Key thing to remember. So that means that square root of p is irrational. So what we're going to do is we're just going to square root everything, and that gives us b minus 1, which is less than square root, sorry, I'll add a little hook there, square root of p, which is less than b. And so now this shows that there is at least one irrational number between each neighboring pair of natural numbers. So I hope you like the video, and yeah, good luck with your mathematical endeavors.